Dear child, you are guided to this moment for a reason. Nothing about this is random. There are no coincidences in the universe, especially when something inside you has been quietly asking for answers. This message is meant to reach your heart, not rush past your ears. So slow down, soften your body, and stay open. Lately, you may have felt a strange heaviness around you, like something unseen has been building. Even when things look calm on the surface, your inner world felt unsettled. There were moments when the air felt thick, when silence felt loud, when your intuition kept whispering that something was not right. Especially at night, when everything goes quiet, that inner knowing became harder to ignore. You may have tried to push it away, telling yourself you were overthinking, but the feeling kept returning. That is because your spirit was sensing something long before your mind could explain it. Someone very close to you is carrying a secret. On the outside, they appear normal. They smile. They speak kindly. They act as if nothing has changed. But inside, they are living with constant fear and guilt. This secret has been weighing on them daily, draining their energy and disturbing their peace. Their greatest fear is not being judged by others or losing their comfort. Their deepest fear is the moment you finally see the truth. They are terrified of the second your awareness shifts, of the moment your eyes reflect understanding, of the moment your trust changes shape. What makes this situation so painful is that the secret does not involve a stranger. It is tied to someone within your own circle, someone familiar, someone connected to you through shared space, history, or closeness, someone you would never suspect, someone whose presence was never meant to cross certain boundaries in your life. That is why the energy around you has felt confusing and heavy. Everything looked normal on the outside, yet something was forming quietly behind your back. This did not happen suddenly. There was no single dramatic moment. It unfolded through small, quiet choices. Lines were crossed slowly. Conversations that should have stayed harmless became too personal. Emotional closeness deepened without being acknowledged. Comfort turned into reliance. What felt insignificant at first slowly became something that could no longer be undone. They told themselves it was temporary. They told themselves it would never affect you. They told themselves they could keep it separate from their life with you. But every excuse only pushed them deeper into the lie they were living. Secrets like this do not stay silent. They leak. They leak into behavior, into tone, into timing. They leak into energy. They leak into the atmosphere of your home and your conversations. That is why you started noticing things that didn't add up. The pauses before answers, the delayed messages, the sudden mood shifts, the emotional distance that appeared without explanation, the inconsistency that left you feeling confused. One day, they were overly attentive, affectionate, even generous. The next day, they felt cold, distant, or shut down. This was not confusion about love. This was fear of exposure. Being around you became difficult for them because your presence reflected the truth they were trying to avoid. Your honesty, your awareness, your energy acted like a mirror. Simple questions felt dangerous to them. Silence felt uncomfortable. Even peaceful moments felt heavy because guilt was always present underneath. They began watching you closely, reading into your words, studying your reactions, searching for signs that you knew. And the more genuine and loving you were, the heavier their chest felt. The other person involved is not unaware. They know far more than you realize. They understand your existence. They understand the risk. They made choices fully aware of the consequences if the truth ever surfaced. That is why the energy around you feels tense and crowded. Too many unspoken thoughts are sharing the same space. Too many people are adjusting their behavior around you while pretending nothing happened. This is no longer just one person's burden. It has become a shared secret, and shared secrets always collapse under their own weight. Something recently triggered their panic. It may have been a close call, a strange coincidence, a comment someone made, or even your own subtle emotional shift. Something made them realize they might lose you without ever having told the truth. That is when the fear deepened. Sleep became harder. Their mind began replaying imagined conversations that never happened. Guilt turned into dread because they know once the truth comes out, your image of them will crack. And once that crack forms, nothing will ever feel the same again. Your intuition has been preparing you for this moment. You have felt emotional changes without clear reasons. You have sensed distance even during physical closeness. You have questioned yourself, wondering if you were imagining things. Yet that inner voice refused to go quiet. That voice exists to protect you. The discomfort you feel is not weakness. It is awareness waking up. The more aware you become, the less power the secret has over you. This message is not here to harm you. It is here to empower you and prepare you. The truth is moving toward you whether they want it to or not. The universe always seeks balance, and pressure builds until truth can no longer be contained. The reveal may not come directly from them at first. It may come through a mistake, a slip, an unexpected message, or confirmation from an outside source. But when it does, everything that confused you will finally make sense. You will understand why you could never fully relax. You will understand why things felt off even when their words said everything was fine. This moment is not about blame alone. It is about clarity. It is about your power returning to you. It is about finally seeing the full picture instead of fragments. When the truth arrives, you will not be blindsided. You will be informed. You will be aware. And you will be able to decide what comes next from a place of clarity rather than confusion. The silence around you is no longer empty. It is charged with unspoken words. The truth you have been circling is no longer hiding in the shadows. It is closer now, louder in energy, asking to be acknowledged. Whatever unfolds next will not happen in darkness. It will happen in awareness. And that is why this moment matters more than you realize. When excitement disappears, fear takes its place. And when fear settles in, regret quietly follows. That is the space they are living in now. What once felt thrilling or hidden no longer brings comfort. Instead, it brings heaviness. The past is no longer distant. It breathes in the present. It shows up in their thoughts, their silence, their reactions. The other person is no longer just a memory of something that went wrong. They are a living reminder of a choice that cannot be undone. Every time that person exists anywhere near your world, the weight of the secret tightens. It becomes harder to carry, harder to manage, harder to control. That is why avoidance became their way of surviving. They avoid questions because questions move too close to truth. They avoid depth because depth exposes cracks they can't repair. They avoid stillness because stillness gives the truth a voice. Noise feels safer. Distraction feels protective. Busy moments give them somewhere to hide. But in quiet moments, they can't escape themselves. In silence, the truth speaks the loudest. What you don't see yet is that the wall they built to protect this secret is already breaking. Something has already slipped. Something didn't go according to plan. A reaction was noticed. A moment felt wrong. A detail didn't stay buried the way they expected. And because of that, the pressure has increased quickly. They understand now that the truth is no longer fully in their control. Control disappears the moment another person knows too much. Control disappears the moment silence depends on someone else's choices. Now, there is a growing fear that someone might speak, not out of kindness, not out of planning, but because secrets get heavy, and people eventually drop what they can no longer carry. And once that happens, the story they prepared, the version they practiced in their head, won't survive. Rehearsed explanations fall apart when reality enters the room. This is the point where fear turns into desperation, where denial stops working, where pretending nothing happened feels impossible. They begin thinking about damage instead of denial. They begin hoping for forgiveness before honesty even arrives. They want comfort without confession. They want safety without truth. And living in that contradiction is exhausting. Your role in this moment is not to rush forward or confront blindly. Your strength right now is awareness. You are no longer listening only to words. You are feeling what sits underneath them. You are no longer accepting explanations at face value. You are noticing patterns, shifts, inconsistencies. You are sensing when things don't line up. This matters more than you realize. When truth finally arrives, it needs a steady place to land. Without grounding, truth feels like chaos. With grounding, truth becomes clarity. You are becoming that steady place, not because you are meant to accept everything, not because you are meant to stay no matter what, but because clarity requires emotional stability. Without it, confusion survives. You are no longer reacting the way you once did. You are observing, and observation is where your power returns. Slowly, quietly, piece by piece. You trust yourself more. You doubt yourself less. Your intuition grows clearer, not louder, but steadier. The truth is very close now. It will not arrive gently because it has been delayed too long. Delayed truth carries weight. It carries consequences. But when it arrives, it will remove confusion in a way silence never could. Silence makes you question yourself. Silence keeps you guessing. Truth ends that. Truth shows you who acted out of fear, who crossed boundaries knowingly, who tried to manage perception instead of being honest, and who underestimated your awareness. Whatever happens next will permanently change the dynamic. There is no returning to what was. There is only movement forward, either through honesty or through separation from illusion. Even now, the person hiding this feels the loss before anything is revealed. They sense distance growing. They feel something shifting inside you. Even if you haven't spoken, your energy has changed, and they feel it. Deception builds walls, and eventually, even the one who built the wall can't cross it anymore. They carry one dominant fear everywhere they go. The fear that once you know the truth, you will never see them the same way again. That fear follows them into quiet moments. It disrupts their sleep. It turns ordinary conversations into internal battles. They are no longer calm. They are waiting for the moment they sense is coming, waiting for the collapse they feel approaching. There is something deeply unsettling about betraying someone who still trusts you. Trust becomes a mirror. It reflects their actions clearly. Your kindness, your support, your unknowing presence becomes painful for them to remember. They replay moments where you were genuine and open while they were hiding, and those memories hurt more than anger ever could. They now understand that the damage wasn't only in what happened. It was in every day that followed. Every day they chose silence. Every normal moment became layered with dishonesty. Every smile became heavier. Every promise became fragile. That is why they feel trapped. They can't undo the past. They can't move forward without facing it. And staying where they are is slowly tearing them apart from the inside. Your clarity sharpens even more here, because the other person involved is no longer invisible. Their presence leaves emotional traces, subtle shifts, awkwardness, tension that didn't exist before. Even without words, something has already been communicated beneath the surface. Shared secrets create silent signals, and those signals don't disappear easily. That's why certain situations feel uncomfortable. That's why interactions feel forced. Your awareness is recognizing truths before language confirms them. This is not coincidence. It is consequence. The secret has grown too large to stay hidden. The longer it remains buried, the more destructive it becomes for everyone involved. They know this. That's why their behavior may suddenly change. More emotion, more guilt disguised as care, more fear disguised as concern. They want to protect you from the truth while also hoping you never discover it. That contradiction breaks people, and contradictions always reveal themselves. You are no longer standing near the truth. You are inside its presence. The revelation is no longer far away. It is moving through timing, circumstances, and cracks that cannot be sealed again. When it arrives, it will not bring chaos. It will bring clarity. Pain may exist, but confusion will not. And once confusion leaves, you will finally be able to decide your future with open eyes instead of unanswered questions. The person hiding this feels watched by their own conscience now. Even when no one is asking questions, their mind is loud. They feel guilty without being accused, exposed without being exposed, cornered without being confronted. Acting normal feels unnatural. Their laughter feels forced. Their reassurance sounds empty, even to themselves. They realize too late that silence did not protect the bond. It weakened it. Trust cannot survive where truth is intentionally withheld. What they fear most is not your anger. It is your calm. Anger can be softened. Anger can be redirected. Calm clarity is final. Calm clarity means you stop asking, stop hoping, stop bending reality to make things fit. And deception cannot survive clarity. They sense your awareness has shifted. Awareness changes energy, and they feel that change deeply. Behind the scenes, the dynamic between them and the other person has shifted too. What once felt hidden and intense now feels heavy and risky. Fear has replaced whatever false comfort existed. Distance has appeared. Communication has slowed. Tension has replaced ease. Secrets isolate everyone involved. They create fear instead of connection. Your role remains the same. Stay present. Stay observant. You are noticing tone instead of words, energy instead of excuses, patterns instead of promises. This is not accidental. This is clarity strengthening. When the truth arrives, it will not shock you as much as it will confirm what you already sensed. Your intuition was never asleep. It was waiting